Yo, YouTube, what's crackalackajackasmacin? It's Waffleman with a video. And you know what's been grinding my gears, man? Phil Jackson, man. This whole New York situation is just really bad, man. I mean, we still don't know Carmelo Anthony if he's going to be traded or not. But what Phil Jackson has done is really a travesty. I mean, think about it, right? Back in, I forgot the year Carmelo Anthony re-signed with the Knicks, but Phil Jackson gave him that contract. Phil Jackson gave him the no trade clause. So come back now to see that Phil Jackson is trying to get rid of Carmelo Anthony for literally nothing. And Carmelo Anthony's been giving his all to New York. He hasn't said anything bad to the media. He hasn't said anything wrong. But Phil Jackson's not saying anything. And matter of fact, I think Phil Jackson is still kind of coaching from the stands. He's still kind of telling Jeff Hornacek what to run. He's still in the practices and the team practices for the Knicks, so he must be trying to implement still what he wants to implement, man. And it's just not working. I feel like that the Knicks are kind of out to sabotage Carmelo Anthony, who, by the way, was balling out in January. I mean, he was averaging like 25, 26 points, shooting 45, 46% from the field, about, what, 6 rebounds and 4 assists in January. He was balling, man. I mean, he was on fire. He dropped 45 points. Remember, he had that 25 points in one quarter against the Wizards. Then he had 26 against the Wizards a couple days ago. So Carmelo's been balling in January, man. He actually also hit, well, a couple game winners as well. So Carmelo Anthony's done a fantastic job in January. And we got a much needed win against the Nets yesterday. But the Cavs game on Saturday, which is at Madison Square Garden, is going to be really interesting. For 2 reasons. One, I want to see if Phil Jackson's going to be attending the game. That's the first thing, right? And the second reason why it's interesting is I want to see how Carmelo Anthony performs, as well as I want to see how LeBron James and Kevin Love react. And actually, third, and not the most least, I want to see how the Garden crowd reacts. I want to see every time Carmelo Anthony touches the ball, if the Garden's going to be booing or cheering. Every time LeBron touches the ball, every time Kevin Love touches the ball. It's going to be really interesting, and this is a nationally televised game on Saturday night primetime ABC. So this game is going to be litter than a motherfucking Tigger. I mean, this game, you got to be watching this game, bro. I mean, hopefully the Knicks don't get blown out. As you guys know, Derrick Rose has been out for the last 3 games. And listen, here's another thing, right? People like to talk about Carmelo Anthony's old, his knees are falling apart. Listen. Carmelo Anthony has only missed 1 game for the New York Knicks, and that game was against the Golden State Warriors, which he could have played in the game, but he took a rest. So, listen, Carmelo Anthony basically played every single game, while you got niggas like Derrick Rose who missed 8 games, Porzingis missed 8 games, but Carmelo Anthony, 31, 32 years old, is still playing the games, man. I mean, he's the only starter that's played the most games, which is crazy. And people are talking about his knees are dead. He's still got that quickness. You see him blowing past people. You see him with the jab step, all that stuff, going to the paint, getting and once. He's been driving a lot more now. So Carmelo Anthony recently has really stepped his game up, man. So it's going to be really interesting what we see. But for Phil Jackson, right? I cannot believe Phil Jackson would just give away Carmelo Anthony for basically nothing. Now I understand Carmelo Anthony doesn't have the greatest trade value because of his contract, because of his no trade clause, because of how old he is. But he has to go to a contending team. But to just try to give him away for nothing is absolutely insane. That is not in the best interest of the New York Knicks. And that's why I want Phil Jackson gone. He doesn't care. I don't think he cares about the Knicks. I mean, listen, as a GM and as the president of the Knicks, he should be making good decisions. He signed Joakim Noah to that big-ass long contract. You know, he got Derrick Rose from the trade. Signed Courtney Lee to that contract. And now I'm like, yo, what are we doing out here, bro? Now we try to trade Carmelo, but listen, if we trade Carmelo, there's no point in keeping Derrick Rose. You gotta trade every single player because these niggas are still gonna be playing on this team. And you gotta remember, Derrick Rose is playing for a contract. That man is averaging 18 points per game. Jennings is playing for a contract. The Knicks are still gonna be out there competing. So even if they trade Carmelo, that doesn't mean you'll be putting the lottery automatically. The Knicks can still win a couple games, bro. So you gotta be careful what you do in this situation. Especially since this nigga trying to give him for nothing. I mean, Carmelo Anthony for nothing, for basically anybody but Blake Griffin, like, just listen, I would trade Carmelo Anthony for a lottery pick to a contending team. It doesn't have to be a great lottery pick. It can be like the 15. Listen, all we need is a first round pick, man. I don't even care what it is, bro. Like Carmelo Anthony goes to the Cavs, whatever. If he goes to the Clippers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It'd be good. I want to see Carmelo get a ring or at least compete in the NBA Finals. But that's just my opinion, man. But let me know in the comment section what you think about Phil Jackson, man. I mean, this nigga is bugging. He really is bugging. And think about this, right? I'm going to bring up one last point to really sink in how bad Phil Jackson has been as a president. This man is undermining the whole organization, doing whatever he wants, implementing his own tribal system, still not letting Jeff Hornacek run the whole show. Think about this, right? Ever since Phil Jackson's friend came out with those comments about the Knicks, came out those comments about Carmelo Anthony, which Phil Jackson, I know Phil Jackson had a hand in that because your friend Inches is going to come out. He doesn't know all that information that he spewed out. But ever since his friend came out with those comments, and ever since Phil Jackson ain't say nothing about those comments, the Knicks have been terrible. I mean, think about it. They were 14-10 before those comments. Now what are we? We're terrible. We're 22-29. How do you go from 14? And this is the thing, right? See, I don't understand players and coaches and freaking GMs and presidents. If your team is doing good and your team is in a good place, why are you commenting on the team? Why say anything bad that can hurt the team chemistry? You know, Jimmy Butler and what Dwayne Wade did, that's not good. What Phil Jackson did is not good. What LeBron James did is definitely not good. That shit is not, like, that's why they're losing all these games, bro. Cavaliers have lost more games than they won in January. LeBron shouldn't have come up with those comments. Wade and Butler shouldn't have come up with those comments. Like, it's crazy. These organizations are tripping, bro. Tripping. But anyways, like I said before, leave your thoughts in the comment section. I'm out for now. Peace.